Hello YouTube. Today I'm taking a look at X-Plane 10.5. We're going to see if if any improvements I can really tell. Now I've not really been following the development of 10.5 all that closely as some other people I know have been. Today we're going to probably be flying the Coronado Piper Archer II, which mimics an aircraft. Well, I can actually rent a Piper Archer II. And that smart co-pilot and world traffic plug-in stuff. Not really needed at this time. So 132 started on the runway. That's one thing I don't like about X-Plane. Okay, so still no buildings. I might be able to download some buildings. That's page extension there. So brake. Alright, full rich. Open up the throttle a little bit. Now I am going to turn off the yoke here momentarily at least. 4700. Alright. That should be KAC center. So let's go ahead and file a flight plan. We're going to be departing from 1 Hotel 0 and going to MO6, which is Washington Memorial. En route altitude let's say 2,000 feet. So we're gonna we should be at one. Do we need to be in St. Louis departure? 126 point. It's 126 something or 123 something. Let me see here. .32. Okay. Now it is. No, grab. I thought I selected grab real world weather. Yeah, that looks pretty much like the real world weather out right now. There we go. Strike 2. Alright, so prime the fuel tank here. Open up the throttle just a little bit. We definitely want that on. It should be pitot heat. Flaps down. Lights are on. Alright, clear prop. I don't have track IR on at the moment. But yes, it does work. Unfortunately, track IR does make a few things a little bit more annoying. Let me double check what the yes. I want the information. Unicom 122.8. Okay, 126.5. I knew it was 126 point something. So 12. 5. File the flight plan, and it doesn't look like it's going to pull up for that. Alright. One, 2, 3.8, was it? Or 122.8. Alright, so I have no idea what the registry is on this aircraft because normally they would put that right there. But some aircraft, November 123 Kilo Alpha, taking off from 1 Hotel 0, runway 16, departing to the south. Ow. That worked. Either the wind or my rotor pedals are not calibrated, one of the two. Okay. That, heading for a vector. Now, given the meteorological conditions today, I would not exactly be flying under VFR conditions. This isn't exactly VFR type conditions out right now. Yeah, they still have... That's Arrowhead down there. Arrowhead hasn't been around since '93. It got flooded out. I'm amazed that it's still there. It is... You can barely make out where the runway was. That's a farm field out there today. But that was Arrowhead, and then Creve Coeur was literally like 2 nautical miles to the north, where we just took off from. And then this is Spirit of St. Louis Airport over here. find it harder to trim out aircraft in simulators than I do the real thing in the real world. Yeah, definitely not VFR conditions. Definitely not VFR. So this is the Missouri River behind, or below us. Interstate 64, that's Spirit of St. Louis Airport, although no buildings. I guess I could go to the website and there's probably somebody who's built some buildings. And download the scenery information. Yeah, Arrowhead's still on the map there. And there's Washington Memorial. There's some little hills right around in there. I have it tuned for the Forestel to FTZ to Vortec. So 326. That would line us up directly. It seemed to me that they would essentially, unless we're going to be landing on runway, let's see here, it's 3317, 16, 15. Yeah, 15. So they must be wanting us to probably fly out and land on runway 15. But again, with the ATC, I have no way of being able to select which runway that I would want to land on. Doing a look. Unicom is 122.8. Alright. What I thought. Definitely not under VFR rules. Furthermore, there's no way to cancel ATC. Alright. So I guess we just trust the ATC here. We'll continue on at 26 degrees. I'm assuming and then that's going to bring it. They're going to bring us in for runway 15. They'll start to squawk at us if we're below 300 feet of our assigned altitude, but this aircraft isn't exactly IFR. I guess it is IFR capable, but the airports that we're going to be flying into are not IFR. Or maybe they are going to set us up for runway 33. The airport's going to be like right over in there, unless I got my bearings completely screwed up. Across the Missouri River here. Yeah, the airport should be like right about there-ish. Yep, that's what they're doing. They're lining us up for runway 33. So this is an example. So this is the town of Washington, Missouri here. Expect a heading to like 310 degrees here very shortly. So that's the representation of the big town of Washington. Or, as we say around here, Washington, Missouri. And then you can kind of see the bluffs over in the distance there. Overall, I've been fairly impressed with the geographical accuracy of X-Plane. It's been pretty good. Probably don't need a fuel pump on at the moment. But this is an example of a Saturday afternoon flight that I would take just to keep the flight skills sharp. Go ahead and climb so they don't squawk at me. Again, not VFR flight conditions. And the aircraft as equipped in the flight simulator is really a VFR aircraft. Now waiting for the next call to turn to probably 340 degrees. And call that we have the airport in sight, which, given the conditions out here today, that's going to be relatively interesting. Because it is really starting to rain at my house. Out in the real world right now. I am flying this with realistic time and weather. So what you see here today is pretty much what the conditions are outside my window right now. For better or worse. There's the river up ahead. I can barely see it, but it's right there. And I'm going to assume this is probably the airport right there. And I'm not 100% sure. Yep, there's the runway. Slowing up the aircraft. So we'll be looking for the call to turn to runway or heading probably 330, 340, and report runway in sight. Yep, there's the runway. And now I'm going to head over to Unicom frequency 122.8, November to something, 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 Delta. On approach to runway 33. Ah, there's the bridge on Highway 47 across the Missouri River down in Washington. I wonder if that was Union we were flying over, and I think that's Washington right here, where we were flying over earlier was Union, Missouri. At any rate. Alright, so we're a little bit high. So according to the meatballs there, we're on a pretty good glide slope. And that's about right. We should be about descending at 600 feet per minute. A little bit fast. Flaps down, 70 knots. Maintain about minus 600 feet per minute. Descent still looking good according to instrumentation. Piper Cherokee, November 2 something 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 Delta on final for runway 33. Oh, okay, so yeah. The ATC warning again. So the ATC doesn't appear to be that fixed, I guess, unless you hand it off to a tower, maybe, but this is an uncontrolled airfield. So, yeah. And I hate that, because it's like, touchdown, your ATC flight plan has been revoked. Well, you know, I've landed at the airfield that I designated that I was going to go land at. Switch to Unicom frequency, as appropriate. So yeah, it doesn't look like they've actually fixed the ATC in X-Plane. I'm having a hard time here. Again, my rudder pedals aren't calibrated precisely, so I'm wanting to drift to the left significantly. Plus, I'm sure there's wind and other things in effect right now. we go. Well, that's X-Plane 10.5 in less than ideal VFR conditions. Looked okay, but again, the air traffic control still appears to be bugged beyond usefulness. So if you want to practice VFR flying, X-Plane's still great, but if you want to practice interaction with air traffic controllers, you better be using it with something like VATSIM or Pilot Edge or one of the other human air traffic controller in order to operate the frequencies and all of that good stuff. So that's X-Plane 10.5. Be sure to I'll go ahead and kill the engine here. Be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. Again, I don't post a lot of X-Plane content because generally whenever I'm using X-Plane, I'm actually practicing cross-country navigation skills, which is basically what at-home flight simulators are useful for. Maybe a little bit practicing some procedures depending on the aircraft, but moreover, it is best for practicing navigation skills, and that's about it. Maybe radio management to a certain degree. So thank you very much for watching, and until then, fly safe. See you next time.